If you're losing with Doom, it's not Doom's problem.
Then why did he look so shit last game?
Because he was in a lane by himself against a pretty strong lane situation where you're being spammed by a PL and being spammed by lightning whenever necessary. He had no ward blocks, so the PL was just, or the Leshrac was just pulling the wave away from the tower. So he always had to be in a vulnerable position. And he was probably also thinking about Nature's Prophet TPing into, I would guess, and maybe playing around that as well. So he had a lot of variables there where the hero couldn't actually be fleshed out. But if Doom has a +1 and he can just press Infernal Blade on you, your lane is over. You can't lane. The hero's insane. And they have two pretty weak supports right now. So I don't see why you wouldn't go Naga plus Doom. Personally.
Well,
I think Dragon Knight is very good against Doom, as we saw in the last game. Any hero that just pops their ulti before the fight is generally pretty good against Doom. Like Death Prophet's often the same way, because it's pretty rare you're going to Doom her before she gets off the Exorcism.
Yeah, it cuts both ways with DP, though, because she also relies a lot on the Yules while she's in the ultimate to reset and survive. And, kind of get that. And, like, using Spirit Siphon matters for her to be able to sustain through it. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That maybe not quite as good of an example, but I do see what you're saying. They grabbed the Shadow Fiend for now, though. Also does pair pretty well with these two heroes once you get into those, like, mid-game team fights. A lot of setup for the Shadow Fiend.
And the also, wombo combo.
Yeah, that's true. And I think good heroes that can fight around, play around the Shadow Fiend early on when he's still trying to get those initial items. What is the go-to build on Shadow Fiend? Is it still like Yule's Blink, like the super squishy, just
that's
highly
only
mobile?
NA Dota, dude.
Oh,
no one else does that.
Really?
That's an NA exclusive.
Really? So that's one of those.
It was really popular, but all the other Shadow Fiends look a lot better because they build real items like drums.
Yeah.
And into like S and Y, like drums beat KB. They just,
I see it in my bracket almost every time a Shadow Fiend tries to do that flashy, stupid, squishy build. I'm like, this game would have been a lot easier if you just went Treads, Drum, Aquila, Dragon Lance.
Exactly.
Like you just beef up so much that you can just charge in and start right-clicking people. You already do so much damage that you win that battle.
Know your role, man.
And if you go
know your role,
survivable damage. Or survivability, it's Ooh. What do we got here? Ooh, Lena. Okay. So
probably gonna be an offlane DK.
Offlane DK.
That would be my assumption.
Interesting. How do you feel about...
I think they'll just try and put the DK up against any sort of a Naga +1 lane.
10 seconds.
Because, like, if you, let's say you pick the Doom now, you couldn't actually, it wouldn't be that insane because he'd be up against the DK and he's just going to regen a lot.
Yeah.
Be someone who actually fares pretty well.
Yeah, I guess that works. He handles Naga better than a lot of other heroes in those early levels. Riptide with the minus armor is pretty annoying. Not really an issue for DK. Geek fam thinking about this. They'll need a couple of cores here.
Jug's kind of okay.
And a safe laner. Jug is... he's fallen out of vogue a little bit compared to where he was, but definitely viable here. Nice to have some sustainability. Like the healing ward. AoE healing is pretty nice with these wombo combo lineups.
And just the spin versus the glimpse, too, is good. It's also a pretty good Lycan game. I know, Lycan seems to be a very team-oriented hero. Like, some teams just play him a lot, and other teams don't play him at all. But we'll go for our offlaner here. And again, it's just more combo. This gives them a decent initiation without Song, which they really need. Something for Jakiro to follow up on so that he can be effective when we're not just using the Song of the Siren.
I wish I had been thinking about Axe when you said, why wouldn't you just pick Doom here? Because isn't Axe just better? Doesn't he just give you kind of that same power of Doom, but it synergizes a little more with this lineup?
I mean, at this point, after the Shadow Fiend, the Axe I think is better, but before the Shadow Fiend, I think Doom's just better.
I think the only drawback to Doom from an objective standpoint is having that long cooldown on the ulti. Not that that's the only reason you pick the hero. Obviously, pre-6, the hero still does a lot, like in the jungle and moving around lanes, but Axe just feels so much more reliable. Well, you're not in that like, well, he wasted Doom. Now we got to wait another 3 minutes. Axe is just like, oh, you missed Berserker's Call? All right, well, cool. Let's grab some runes and do it again.
Yeah, Axe has problems though. Like if you goof on your first like 3 blinks, then the hero just is it's over. You know what I mean? Like he has a hard time keeping up in terms of farm if you're not getting a lot of kills. It's not really someone you want to be giving entire waves to on the side lanes. I don't know. It's I'd rather have a Sand King in most situations. But BKB piercing, very important in the current patch. Everyone just buys early game BKBs. And so our rounded out safe laner will not be the potential Juggernaut. I was thinking maybe just up against the Disruptor for the spins away from the Glimpse, but Chaos Knight, hard to argue with that. You could say there is a lot of AoE though, honestly. The Sand King, the Dragon Knight splash damage, as well as the Lina. They already have decent answers with a potential position 1 pick still available, but as the band from Geek Fan pointed out, they could pick a position 1, they could pick a position 3, or they could pick a position 4.
Yeah.
They didn't want the Tusk Snowball save for songs and combos and stuff, though.
Yeah, I think Aggressive Slayer, though, have to get something that gives them some late game. Right now, they are so tempo-focused, and if this game goes past, like, 25 minutes, I think Geek Fam almost win by default. So what's it going to be? I don't know what the ideal hero is. They've got a lot of catch, and I think you're right that from a conventional standpoint, they've got a lot of solutions to the CK ult, but I think the CK ult is just more about catch. You know, like they just need to catch somebody, you pop the ult, you reality rift, they get blown up. If your illusions die after that, who cares? You know, you've still already made the game a 4v5 for that next window.
I wonder if they're Wraith King gamers. Ooh. Kind of an okay Wraith King game.
I'm into Wraith King. I think that's about as good a pick as any. You need somebody really survivable here that doesn't care about getting caught that much. Like Medusa's not even tanky enough. Sven feels risky, but could be all right. He's really high armor. The War Cry is pretty good in this kind of
Deuce
scenario.
Is not bad, actually. I think Deuce is better than Sven. Okay, so we'll go back to the offlane hero.
So who the hell's their safe lane position 1?
Probably going to be the DK. And they'll put the Lina up against the SF if they can.
Lina mid, safe lane DK, off lane Omni. Ah, man. I think this Geek Fam draft is just way better here, Trent. I have to admit. I like it a lot more.
I foresee CK problems. That is certain. He's going to be really hard to deal with. I mean, that hero's always hard to deal with. Feels surprising we don't see him more often, honestly.
Yeah, but I think the reasoning is because when he is dealt with, he does fall flat. You know, there's a reason he's 5th picked in this draft, right? Because they look at this and go, yeah, they can kill the illusions, but just from a catch perspective, look at how many different options they have. You've got Axe with a Blink Call. You've got CK with the Reality Rift. It's pretty good. You've got Song of the Siren with a net. You've got Jakiro with Ice Path. You've got Shadow Fiend with a Blink Yules. You've got a lot of ways to initiate fights with this team.
Prepare for battle. See if that will indeed be the case. I'm probably going to be favoring the old Geek Fam squad here.
So what's the win sitch for Aggressive S? What can they do to make this one? I mean, do you agree? Do you like the Dire draft a bit more, or are you feeling confident for Team AS?
Ooh, there. So it is the Omni Knight they're going to be giving a little bit more priority to, unless they're assuming it's an aggro. That might be the case, actually. But I am the Radiant team. Speed, of course, pretty important. The problem with the speed is that you have Alina, and she isn't actually a hero until, like, after Bloodstone. Like, she takes a while to come online. She's actually a very late game hero at this point, I think, in terms of like her real relevance, you know, like before she has that insane attack speed and she's actually threatening.
Yeah.
She's like a Bloodthorn hero, you know? Like,
yeah.
So in that case, they can't really play super fast. Controlling Roche would be nice. I don't know. It just looks a lot easier for Geek Fan, but we'll see how it goes.
The battle begins.
It's
you know, sometimes this Omni just get a set of control. Maybe he gets a Radiance because his lane goes so well, and then you have this Radiance Omni who's very irritating. Things happen.
Yeah.
Not often, but I they happen.
I mean, I want to say that one way, obviously, to start off strong is to try to dominate these lanes. And they don't have bad laners, but they're not particularly good either. You know, I think Jakiro Axe matches up just fine against Omni Disruptor, especially in those first couple levels. Jakiro is just spraying out damage over time, left and right. Shadow Fiend Lina, not bad for the Lina. Kind of an even matchup, maybe slightly Lina favored, certainly in the earlier levels. Up top, we'll see some damage already. Nice stun on 2 from the Sand King, but you can see the nice aggressive positioning from this Naga Siren here with the Riptide. I guess for the Radiant, a good matchup from a DK perspective.
Yeah.
But how do they win the late game? You know, this safe lane Omni, like this Omni's got to carry harder than any Omni has carried before.
I'm looking to see their answer, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm curious as well.
Because CK is, as we said, very momentum-based. And, I mean...
He's just going to get a good start, honestly.
Yeah, who wins this top lane? It's melee on melee, but I think it's Dire favored.
Yeah, overall, I mean, DK's just going to be surviving, honestly. I think if it was the Omni plus the Sand King, it might be a bit of a better chance, and maybe that'll happen with rotations and levels and stuff, because they'd have a bit more damage, but overall, DK is going to survive, SK is going to survive, and CK is probably going to hit quite a few creeps.
Well, now he's going to hit some heroes. Gets that 1 second stun, so actually does a lot of damage. Nice stun on both. Prevents the first blood from coming out, but still showing how difficult this lane is. And now the other way, DK turns it. No first blood for the CK.
Oh, that Caustic just canceled. Oh, never mind. Okay, that was different South. My bad. DK only has tangos. But that was his South got canceled.
Yeah. Great turn. Now
CK
it's gonna be close. Very 90. Low. Turns. Mango. Stun. He's good. Pops the salve. Not going to be able to turn the other way, though. Sand King is pretty low. So bottom lane, Omni Knight doing just fine. Jakiro had to head back to the well, it looks like. So Axe 7-1 compared to the 15-3 Omni Knight. Generally, Axe pretty good in these melee matchups, but tough lane with the Disruptor there too.
Yeah, and Disruptor also got the D ward off. He got some pulls going, so he's going to try and get some control back over this lane. And Jakiro, though, although he went home, he also got a pull off in the jungle. Great for his Axe, great for himself. So a nice play there. Kind of makes his journey worth it. Get some more mana for the spam.
Yep.
And looks like Sand King's going to have to do the exact same thing here. And he will TP back up top. Not going to try and make any sort of play in the bottom lane.
Yeah, interesting from March here. Oh, was holding on to that skill point, but now grabs the Berserker's Call when he walks up to the creep wave. Interesting play to hang on to that third point like that.
Mid lane, it's been a little bit of a snooze fest. 13-7, 16-2. You expect more denies on the SF. Just has the higher damage. That really slow attack animation from the Lina relies mostly on the Dragon Slave for the actual assets.
Yeah. And, of course, it gets better for the Shadow Fiend as things go on. For the most part, Lina can play around breakpoints. When she dings 6, she's got some kill potential there against the squishy Shadow Fiend, of course. But in terms of trading right clicks, once level 5 comes, that's where Shadow Fiend either has the huge burst potential from the Raise or the Necro. And, there it is. There's the Shadow Raises with an Arcane Rune. So even better.
Yeah, possibility that Jackie gets caught off guard, but honestly, just having Arcane Rune is pretty sick for guaranteeing a lot of assets, taking advantage of that. Oop. Going to spam out some mana.
Now down bottom,
Disruptor.
Though. Killing the Disruptor. Omni Knight can be able to make it back. He'll be fine. Gets his Soul Ring now, as well as a Healing Salve.
Yeah, kind of struggling up here. Getting harassed a lot. I guess the brief fire damage reduction too, just kind of helping out. It is flat at all levels. So even just at level 3, very helpful. He can't really trade.
Yeah, that's going to be a kill. They chase him down under the tower. Probably not going to be able to grab the Naga Siren, but tough stuff, you're right. Not the easy start we were thinking in terms of the cores. He is the lowest in CS, even when you factor in the offlaners. And now Naga Siren in a lot of trouble. Even Sand King rotating in. There's the Dragon Tail, not going to be able to make it to the Shrine. Jakiro does TP. Dual Breath connects onto the Sand King. And is this going to be a counter kill the other way? Sand King low, but not enough damage. Jakiro, only level 3. Needed that second Dual Breath to get the kill.
I think they need Jakiro up here, though. Like, that'll completely tilt this lane back in their favor. Very irritating hero. He got level 3 in that bottom lane, splitting it up with the axe there. And March also going for a call down bottom, but not getting any luck here with the spins.
All right, well, it's a good start for the Aggressive Slayers. All things considered, they should be pretty happy. This mid lane's still relatively even. Like you said, the deny is a big disparity, but both heroes now level 6. Shadow Fiend about half a level up on her.
With the wave coming in too, though, so he's quite a bit up.
They want the Dragon Knight. Dual Breath connects, but not enough follow-up. Sort of an awkward spot where that Chaos Bolt connected with all those creeps in the way.
In the end, though, there are still some concerns, like this meta, and I'm sure you guys have noticed in a lot of your games that there tends to be a lot of just like really tanky heroes, and it feels like certain heroes aren't that viable because it's like hard to actually burst people down as well. Speaking of bursting down, Lina makes her first rotation for the Laguna Blade as they fight top at the same time. Going on for the Sand King.
Sand King might go down. Naga low on cooldowns. They don't quite have the damage. It was a good pick on the axe, though. He was finally starting to feel a little cocky with his lane presence. And gets punished pretty darn hard.
But, I mean, you guys have seen all these, like, ridiculously tanky heroes, so it's not that surprising, I guess, in that sense, to have, like, an Omni and a Dragon Knight on the same team. But the question is, like, can they actually take this ridiculous tankiness and translate into, like, a decent mid-game? Because he's living through this kind of stuff. I mean, this is 3 heroes casting every spell, and he might finally go down here. And, if he had a wand, I'm surprised he doesn't have a wand, actually.
It might not have been enough to save him, but it definitely would have helped. It is kind of surprising,
just like,
though.
Considering, like, the battling he's been doing, not even going for the stick is a little surprising.
Yep. Up top. Oh, just some TPs coming back in. Still the Radiant in a pretty good spot. Holding on to a small net worth lead. DK level 5. Mango gets eaten. A lot of right clicks being traded up here. Defensive ensnare used on the Sand King. A lot of Ks up here. You got the SK, the DK, and the CK. Very noob-friendly cast we've got here.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Shrine up just for mana and HP. They got to get the CK going here. He is a bit of a concern. I guess part of an axe is that he needs to transfer his net worth onto the other core, like make that space in the mid game. But he went for the Vanguard first, so something to help you keep laning, something to help you take stacks, but not make a lot of space.
Yep. Set up top, Jakiro. Such a great counter initiator in these kind of situations. You know, you hit 2 with a dual breath, and they don't really have a choice but to slowly turn around and start heading back defensively. Proper tri-lane now in this top. CK still on the struggle bust. Bottom of the net worth. Shadow Fiend, however.
He's loving life, man. 0-0-0-70-17. The ideal Shadow Fiend game. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to see some souls. That would be great. Thank you. Mom, don't call me for dinner. I'm busy. I'm hitting creeps.
Yep. Gets a double stack at the hard camp there, too. So when you factor it all together, it's actually pretty all right for Geek Fam. You know, we've got a very even game, and CK can definitely recover with just one good team fight. He does now have Phantasm, so maybe gives them a little bit more kill potential.
I think there is some concern for when DK just cracks 6 and they start pushing towers, though.
Definitely. We'll see this fight break out up top, though. Stun onto the Shadow Fiend. Glimpse back onto the CK, but Chuan connects to the Shadow Rays and finishes off the DK. So that will slow down that Elder Dragon form that you were just talking about a little bit more.
Level 11.5. Lina has not even... Oh, she just hit 9, actually, in the jungle. But still, that is brutal. She needs a kill with this Invis rune. It has to be someone important.
Wow, that's actually insane. It's a full. It's like a 2.5 level gap between the mid laners. Meanwhile, March, he's gonna get chased down. Bryant, pretty nearby. Shadow Fiend on the high ground, channels the Requiem. Good follow-up. Catches the Omni, actually. Gets the double raise, and now Sand King on the low ground trying to make it back, but Ensnare is there. And one more raise makes it a double for the Shadow Fiend. That'll be almost his level 12.
Yeah. Like, what is going on here? This guy's completely out of control. He's heading in towards the BKB.
Playing it safe. I like that. And
they didn't draft anyone that can actually hit creeps and make those rotations. I mean, I guess that's Lina's job, right? But she's just like so slow in comparison.
Yeah, that's the thing. You think of her as sort of like a lane dominator in the context against the Shadow Fiend, but what she can't do is stop him from just clearing stacks in the jungle, and that's really where he accelerates. It's fine if they break even in the lane, because once he hits, level 7, that's really about the time that he just wants to go into the jungle, get those clarities rolling. He's got the drums, he's got the ring, so he's got plenty of mana regen. Up top, we are going to see an initiation. Chaos Knight getting pretty low, but there's the Phantasm. Can they turn this the other way? A lot of damage onto the CK. Nice stun across from the SK. Connects on Jakiro, but now Naga's here. Kind of a wasted epicenter, but a noble effort does repel the likes of the Dire. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Pressure on that tier 1. Omni and Disruptor. Now some TP rotations. It's going to be the Jakiro. He's coming alongside March. No Blink Dagger. We just have a Vanguard. Good use of the Macro Pirates to clear out the creep waves. Big damage to that purification,
this guy.
Yeah, this Omni is just a little too strong. All the while, the DK dies in the top lane to the Shadow Fiend, and they might also get the Sand King. Bryant.
Yeah, they haven't a net in a moment here. Oh, nice blocks.
Yeah, they don't even... Oh! Okay, they'll take another Shadow Raise.
Oh, he missed!
Uh-oh. Well, that sucks. I missed it because I thought there were going to be some kills down bottom. Lina also missed the Dragon Slave on the Jakiro, so he's able to survive. A lot of chaos around the map, but the Axe did die. I think it's still pretty much a wash, though. A little bit of movement towards the Radiant's favor with that double damage rune on Lina, but just a couple hundred net worth.
Man, we need some ancient stacks for this Axe or something. He's got 1 stack there, but I want like 3 or 4 or something. Got to make use of this Vanguard. Got to get a Blink Dagger. Got to get a Blade Mail. Got to come online. Pick's really not doing all too much for you right now. I mean, Shadow Fiend's dominating this game, so it looks like there's not too much concern for old Geek fan, but they also have a CK that's like being forced into a Midas. At least that's what he feels like.
What do you think? I mean, normally I'd say this is really risky, even though it feels like he needs some kind of recovery tool, but with Shadow Fiend this far ahead, there is some part of me that feels like he can control this mid-game enough that CK can capitalize on all that space. But
I don't know, man. He's like level 7.
It's risky.
I think he needs a Midas. Like, he can't. What item lets you find? Like, what's he gonna do? Buy a Maelstrom and just go hit?
He is on par with the supports. Like, him and Naga are about on the same footing right now. That's pretty scary. I mean, she doesn't have quite as much farm as he does, but wow. Especially given that it's being pulled up. You know, like, he's going to have a slightly higher net worth, but with the Midas, it's a big sunk cost that doesn't provide a lot of intrinsic value in these fights. Axe, no Blink Dagger, can't find an easy initiation, but Yule's set up, follow up Ice Path. I think March might just be dead here. Omni Knight comes in with the repel. Laguna just cuts right through that extra armor from the Berserker's Call. Easy
What are we doing here? That's the suicide rune. You know, you get this haste rune, you feel like you can do some stuff. You're like, oh, no, guys, come on, let's go.
Geek fan, what are you doing? I overhyped him too much. I saw this draft. I'm like, guys, this is easy. You've got the late game. You just need to hold it together in the lanes, and CK just fell apart in the lanes.
I'm just gonna draw some arrows over towards the ancient camp, and hopefully Axe will find them. Because, like, you bought a Vanguard. Go kill some ancients. That's your hero.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
No, you're right. Vanguard on Axe is it ends up being more of a farming tool than anything else in a lot of games. Now, there's certain situations, you know, maybe like Brood or something, where it just feels like the item that gives you all that physical mitigation. But it lets you kill creeps just mindlessly. You know, triple stacks, 4 stacks, you pretty much just run in there.
Like, this Naga wants to smoke, and Axe just, like, running back and forth to the camp, like, guys, I don't want to smoke. Can I please? I need my blink dagger.
Up top, though, CK's dead, so Smoke's not going to do a hell of a lot either way. Jakiro, trying to turn something around, but it's just completely mitigated. Repel, GA, Omni Knight still has a purification to be used, and this Shadow Fiend is on the run. He does get glimpsed back. It's going to cost the Disruptor his life, but now Song of the Siren, not even enough to save the Shadow Fiend. Set up for March. They can't get it. Discombobulated is the word. They Delta split. BB gets caught finally. The dunk does not connect. They do finally find him with a nice path after the repel gets expired. But, I mean, Jesus. That was so brutal for the Dire.
Setting up here, too.
They end up with a little bit of like a net worth gain, but...
Hello.
Yeah. Gonna go right back up to that 4K advantage. Another freebie for the Lina. Well, aggressive S, Trent. The Slayers indeed. Shadowblade now going to be on the way for their Slayer. What happened? What actually happened?
They're fighting when they don't have all their tools. They're not setting up with Song into the Jakiro plans. They don't have the Axe Blink Dagger. CK's being initiated on. Pretty much what's going on. And SF thinks his whole team is coming, and suddenly he's keeping into 4 heroes just before his BKB's done, and now he's dead again.
Well, chew on. Well, look at you, you little bastard. You are dead.
He's become the Pinata. He has all of this gold, and he is just feeding it all right back into those Radiant heroes.
Yeah, they didn't even struggle for that. Omni Knight got a whopping 58. Solid. But all the while, Lina finished up that tier 1 in the top lane, so that opens up the jungle a little more. DK bumping into CK. It's going to be a 2-ski. Elder Dragon form, Laguna Blade, LSA. You're dead.
That's a 6K lead. They have a 6K lead.
Just like that. Well, Jakiro dies down bottom while the rest of Geek fam come to defend this tower.
See, Sand King has a blink. Blink is a good item.
Yep. We're talking about that in the series prior and why you have to allocate some farm to your Sand King. If he's behind, you got to make space for him, and if you're ahead, then you can play around it. But it is the key item. If you're picking this hero and you're not thinking about that as a team, you're probably not playing your Sand King right. They thought that was a real Naga. They were like, look at this idiot. He's coming up to the high ground. They got real excited. But yeah, understandably slow. They've got a huge lead. All 3 of their cores now top of the charts. And they've got control of the map.
Now the question is, can they go high ground? That is the question. They have a Dragonite, sure. They have a Lina, sure. But does she have the damage and the levels at this point to do it?
Uh-oh.
They need a lot of pickoffs, but hey, they just keep on coming because they have Shadow Blades.
Killing the Shadow Fiend before he gets BKB, I think this game just ends. I think there's another win condition that Ice Frog wrote in that if you kill the Shadow Fiend when he's just committed to BKB before he gets the recipe enough times, the throne just explodes. They have to do it 5 more times, but it could happen.
It's coming.
The Shadow Fiend is useless. He's actually useless in these fights. It's not a bad build on paper, but yeah, this timing now where they're fighting is super rough. Song of the Siren
this is good.
Will interrupt this, but remember, it's 4v5. The setup with the Jakiro brings down the Lina first. Omni getting low, and they've killed the Disruptor. But Sand King stays alive. He turns with the Epicenter, and the GA actually just resets the entire thing. Buyback from Lina. Now the buyback from Axe. They kill the Sand King. Dire with the superior resources right now as the Sand King also buys back. but Laguna from the low ground trying to finish off the Naga. He gets that last auto attack. No uphill miss. CK not able to finish off the Dragon Knight. Roche still standing. Both teams with a lot of resources invested in this. 4 buybacks used. Sand King.
Ollie's got to make these plays here, man.
Stun across the way. Ollie in a lot of trouble. The damage is not quite there. Huge call from March to counter initiate. Slam dunk after slam dunk. It's the aggressive Slayers that are getting punished, and Geek fam have finally awoken from their slumber. They lose their Jakiro. Dragon Knight trying to come in for the Aegis steal. He gets Roshan instead. Aegis ends up getting picked up by the Shadow Fiend, who gets the kill on Omni Knight, and they should be able to clean up the DK. All 5 down for the aggressive Slayers, and 4 still alive for Geek fam with the Aegis in tow. So it's a super chaotic fight. We're going to look at this recap. It only catches the Omni buyback for some reason. But obviously a huge gain for Geek Fan when it's all said and done. Way more than this chart would have you believe.
Yes.
We'll take
it's
a look
about
at
a
the
6K
overall graph.
wipe, right? Like,
yeah.
We saw that's how much they were leading right before that all started. But the most important fight of the game takes place after they have what they need. They have the Blink Dagger on the Axe. Yes, they didn't have the BKB on the SF, but that Naga song could not have been more perfect. They control the pit with that hero. That is why she is still tier 1, nerf after nerf. The hero still owns Roche. And how about Ollie? I love this build. He maxed out the Ice Path first. He didn't commit in for the Dual Breath, and those Ice Paths have been huge. He missed 1 during that fight. It was a pretty important one, because it would have helped the SF get an earlier kill, but it didn't end up mattering all too much. And he hits like 3 or 4 2-man Ice Paths during that engagement. So, absolutely necessary for them to be victorious there.
Yep, no doubt. Buyback disparity pretty even here. I think 3 used on each side, if I'm counting correctly. Naga, meanwhile, though, initiated on as they dive past the tower. The follow-up Ice Path is there, and Shadow Fiend gets yet another kill, and that'll be a tier 1 tower going in favor of Geek Fan. Their first tower kill of the game, in fact, as it's now 19-19. Gold has swung in their favor, and they are actually
the game's
alive
over.
and well. Yeah, this late game we were talking about, they managed to survive through it. You were wondering how would the Radiant break high ground, and they didn't even really get the chance to. Look at this. CK, he's got a blink, armlet. He's right back online.
They might get a kill top here on Ollie, though. And this is a pretty nice grab. Might actually allow them to push into something.
Song of the Siren. It's enough. Epicenter gets him down to 22 HP. Now March into the Ice Path. It's going to be a great turn. Or is it? Omni Knight's here. He's got the GA, and they are forced back. Ollie will still go down as Omni gives him the Righteous Hammer. So a couple of big cooldowns used. Well, really just the Song of the Siren and Epicenter. But tier 2 tower all the while in the bottom lane does end up falling to that Phantasm. And a little more gold will get picked up for the rest of this Dire team.
Yeah, looks like they don't feel like they can commit to top, though, surprisingly. I thought they might. But you are still fighting into the Aegis. Okay, now we're going in. Gonna tickle this thing. You got Shadow Blade. You're feeling confident. Yeah, Omni backing you up. They have any sentries right now? Or no, they don't have anything to be concerned about. We don't have any Shadow Blades on the Dire, so that's fine.
Yeah, I think they're fairly safe doing this, as long as they stay spread out and don't give Axe the 3-hero call. He does catch one, but repel straight away as Chuan jumps in, takes a Dragon Breath, or pardon me, a Dragon Tail. The TP home does work. Naga using the ensnare a little early there. And now the rest just run back. All right, live they shall.
Force all those rotations up there, too. Don't even win a fight while they have the Aegis. So they're going to smoke up, though, with this Aegis. And they're going to link up to their CK, who's camping the high ground with Phantasm already popped. But he's under vision, so they know this is coming. Like, they saw him up there. They see him again. They weren't expecting that angle.
Axe jumps in, grabs one. Can they actually kill him fast enough? Can't get the dunk. Omni Knight survives on the other side. They do lose their Disruptor. Opens up for Chuan to finish off the tier 1 tower. Omni does not have to use the GA. He does have a Shadow Blade. But now, right into the tower they go. They've got more Phantasm illusions. No. Is that an illusion rune? Oh, that's handy. Okay. Phantasm coming off cooldown in a couple seconds.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah, I thought those were Phantasms he was camping the high ground with, too.
Yeah, I was like, God, that really came back quick. Well, that's very lucky for Geek Fam. And now with that tier 2 tower down in the mid and bottom, the Radiant jungle is completely opened up. They can continue to put this pressure on. I mean, look at the dire wards right now.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
They've been saving those things.
Boom. Pretty good vision.
Crazy how many Shadow Blades they're investing for here, though. All 3 cores have one now, right? Yeah. You know, Omni and the CK, so.
Or do you mean to say DK?
Yes, sorry. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Too many knights, man.
It's a whole thing.
Kings. Knights and kings.
Well, Axe, he's going to go for a Shadow Blade, actually. So the Dire are going to pick one up. It's going to be the 4th Shadow Blade.
You got to put some cost into your enemies, too, you know. You guys are shelling out so much for these damn sentries. Poor Jakiro. Hard life. Even though the game's going pretty well for him. Only has Tranquils and a Cloak, because he's holding, as you can see, 3 sentries, and there's quite a few down on the map as well.
Yeah. Ollie playing the sacrificial style. You gotta. Oh. Axe down bottom. He's going fishing. There it is. He's caught one.
Yeah.
That's a big old
salmon.
salmon.
Soloed, too. Jeez.
I mean, she's pretty squishy. She
hits for 200 damage, so that helps with the blade mail.
Yeah, that's true. She gave up on the Bloodstone, and it's just going for the BKB with a lot of gold pooled up. So her farm is pretty good, but in terms of where's it going, not quite the same value that Axe is getting out of his inventory. And now I think it'll be a push commencing up top for the Dire. They ping out the mid like they want to go on the DK, but he's got Shadow Blade, as we've mentioned, a little bit hard to initiate on. A blink on the Chaos Knight, so they do have some ways to catch him. But not easy.
As long as Song is up, though, it's so difficult for the Radiant side. And again, they can't contest, and we just keep waiting for Roche. So about 1 minute until we'll know. And that will be the high ground for the Dire side. And can they go high ground from the Dire side? Easier. Not necessarily the simplest thing to do, but wouldn't mind if they had a Force Staff, honestly. I think that's one of the best items for high grounding with Naga. You can just get that, like, sudden, she gets pushed forward with a song.
Yeah, and then you just get the setup. I have a feeling that they're going to break high ground by finding a gank outside of the base. I think that's going to be the name of the game for the Dire. The ability just to clear out the CK illusions is a little bit too good.
I like his choice to go for the heart, though, because as you're saying that, like, he was looking at the BKB and he was close, and then he just queued into the heart instead.
I like how he's using the Phantasm, too, almost like it is a Manta, just for farming and pushing out lanes. See the DK down bottom. This is pretty annoying, but we'll kill one of the illusions.
Yeah, it'll hurt him in the end, though, if he doesn't get the if the Aegis spawns too soon on the Roche. Like, it's coming up now. We'll see just how fast the spawn actually is. But, you know, if he has to fight with the Phantasm of the Pit, that would really blow.
Yeah. Yeah, 100% on that. But Radiance now out on the Omni Knight.
It is fast.
Pretty big item, and immediately they'll smoke up.
See if they end up checking the pit. Would be a great moment for them if they do. Oh, Naga spots out that they're... I think she did? Maybe she didn't, actually.
Nope. Didn't break it. Yeah, the timing on the Radiance is pretty good, especially considering that he went for a Shadow Blade and drums before that.
Yeah. Obviously, it is very good, too, if the CK is going to be kind of committing in towards his illusion surviving. You have that natural mischance being added in there. The Radiant will find a couple heroes here, but their smoke has expired, so they're not going to go for it.
Yeah, Dire all clumped up for the most part as well. I think with so many heroes missing off the map. They had pretty good ward coverage. Most of them have expired. Now it's actually the Radiant that have pretty good wards, at least defensively. Dire opt to smoke themselves on the back of this CK Heart of Taras. He's going to pick it up. TP's in. 4,500 HP on this guy now.
See what Lena does here. Is she going to get caught? Or is she just going to go home?
She's got Yule's BKB. And they found her.
Should have went home.
Well, see you later. And no buyback. Okay, there you go. The bounty runes will give her enough gold for the buyback.
Close one.
Woo. Well, I don't know. I thought maybe they'd run into Roche. He has respawned, so, and they've scattered it out. So Alina buyback could be in the cards if the Dire run over the pit. It's a pretty early spawn though, so they might not be aware that it's up yet. Of course, Radiant no, thanks to that kinetic field.
Yeah, they're hunting, looking to add on a couple though. They have that vision up on the top half of the map. They've seen some heroes moving up here.
Now it's been scouted. Axe just runs in, and here we go. 25 seconds on Lina. But now the Radiant have the issue of they don't really know exactly that this is going on. And Roche falls very fast. A ton of minus armor. Dire with great wards around the pit. They've got the high ground covered here. They've also got wards down on the other side. I thought there was one somewhere. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, Disruptor.
He sees it, and that's it. Roche goes down. Aegis picked up by the Shadow Fiend. Glimpse back, but Disruptor, he's going to get caught, it looks like. March in hot pursuit. Connects with Berserker's Call just barely. Reality Rift, and it's a freebie.
Yeah, gave away their ward too, so that'll be gone.
Yep, gets pinged pretty much immediately. Jakiro gets a little bonus gold there. Cheese also up on the Chaos Knight, so the recovery is more than real. Faded. He's feeling like a real core.
It was certainly an intriguing draft here from the Radiant side. I don't know. Maybe it could have worked. It's one of those, like, if you just keep winning team fights because your heroes are so tanky and you execute right, then you can see how it can be victorious and how it even could go high ground. Like a repelled DK who's ulting, that probably would have done all right. If they initiate with the axe, likely could have had some counterplay there. Maybe it would have been fine, but once you lose that one team fight, especially in the pit like that, to the ridiculous combos that they have, it just so hard to wrestle back control.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's
been in their favor since.
It's kind of what we expected. You know, they're getting out late gamed here at 30 minutes, and you can really feel that difference. And the other big disparity was just how much the Shadow Fiend took off. Like, even now, he's still a good 2, almost 3 levels up on the Lina. Like, Chuan has just had control of this game really since, you know, the first couple minutes.
I'm surprised he's not actually, like, more ahead in terms of experience, because he has just been laying those creeps the whole game. DK Midas definitely paid off. Found his way back into this match.
Yeah, I think you were right about the XP aspect. You know, sure, like, he needed the farm, but he was so far behind in levels. It really was the kind of perfect item.
Yeah.
He had to lean on his Shadow Fiend a little bit, but that's what teamwork's all about. The Axe kind of had the same problem, and I guess from a pure farm perspective, Axe is still lowest of the primary cores in the game, but he's got it where it counts. You know, he went for these value items, and if he catches you with a blink call, he's, you know, like those solo kills on Lina adds up.
Yeah, she is a little scary right now, though, right? Like, maybe she can pick off something like this Shadow Fiend if they can get those stun combos going, or maybe they can. Okay, CK's in. Quick invis though. Takes away his initiation. All right, he has the cheese in now. He puts away the minus. That's probably a good choice.
Glyph used right away as Geek Fam siege the high ground. Phantasm used in the tree line. Whoa! Big initiation forward. Just destroys the Disruptor. It's a quick buyback now. Both BKBs used and repel. A lot of magic immunity. They're trying to focus down the CK, but he'll eat the cheese. He survives, and now the rest of the fight continues, and it is looking bad for the Radiant. Aggressive Slayers just getting wiped up. Buyback now used by Lina as well as the Omni, but all 5 still alive on the Dire. Song of the Siren to reset, allow everyone to retreat if need be, and they're going to go back to hitting this tier 3 tower. So not over quite yet. A lot of buybacks used, though, and big time economic damage. Now that tier 3 tower falls, all the regenerations happen, and these barracks are under attack. Dieback now for the disruptor. He just can't do
the way he's playing,
anything.
Dude. He's like the 3. You know, he's like him and the Axe are just diving in. And I mean, Shadow Fiend's obviously the true 1 in most games when he's picked, but especially in this one where he just started off farming like crazy, continued through the mid game, and DK, even though he caught up, he bought action items. He bought things that just let him fight quickly with the armlet and the blink dagger, and definitely made the most of it.
Yeah. Well, Geek Fam take game number 1. I will say it was nice to see Geek Fam recover after taking some of those mid-game missteps. You look at that graph, and yeah, there was a good bump there. It's like, what in the world is going on? You guys need to stop dying, get on the same page, and
get a blink dagger on your axe.
Follow the game plan. You know, that moment when the axe was trying to decide, do I farm? Do I listen to my Naga who wants to smoke? Meanwhile, my CK is getting killed in the safe lane. It was all falling apart, and it just took one